The title of my work is Self-Portrait, and it is a oil on canvas painting completed with linseed oil as a medium. My aim was to construct work that examined historical art in contemporary culture, how I could create new perspectives on the past, examine contemporary issues, concerns, ideas. However, as the year progressed, I was able to acknowledge that what I truly wanted to present was my love and adoration for historical art and my pure joy of painting. So I sort of weaved myself into what I'd been doing, and it just formed into an examination of the self, my identity of an artist and my aesthetic tastes. My inspiration comes from art history. I remember going to the National Gallery as a small child. Some of my favourite artists are Artemisia Gentileschi, Caravaggio, Ingres, Jacques-Louis David, Rembrandt and Vermeer. I love about these artists their warm and burnt colour palettes, their use of paint, how each one can tell a story. They just come together to create these powerful and emotive pieces. To create my work, I began with taking photographs, then used pencil on canvas, and I used a raw umber underpainting with a big brush to gesturally create all the darkest detail of my piece. I then went over slowly and methodically with pigment and oil, used white titanium to finish the highlights in the eyes and the nose. I then let it dry for about 2 weeks and then proceeded to do a small layer of varnish over the top. It only took me 3 or 4 days, maybe a week at tops. Doing the photo shoot was the hardest because I didn't have anyone to take my photo for me. I had a tripod set up. I have no experience with photography. I'm a terrible photographer. Basically, I took 2 photos, one where the hands were good and one where the face was good, and I actually combined them together in Procreate. I wanted to create a work that was historically accurate. I would have liked to stretch my canvas myself, but I ran out of time. I did, however, use traditional pigments. I tried to match my colour palette to the Baroque or Dutch Golden Age as best as possible, so those dark, warm, burnt tones and colours. The thing I found most challenging about creating my work was to strike a balance between the 2 worlds that I wanted to present. I didn't want to create a work that was so obviously within the historical. I had to find the balance within the contemporary as well. So in the image I'm wearing just a plain black shirt. There's no jewellery, there's nothing to distract. It's a pure stripped down raw expression of joy in painting. I actually had 2 finals. I began a painting previously. It was so complicated and so in depth with jewellery and clothing and all these colours. And my parents kept telling me, come on, you just keep going, you can do it. And I just eventually said no. I had to really trust my gut. So I began again and told myself that I will just make this about the paint and about me loving what I do. I found working at home to be actually more enjoyable than working at school. I needed a quiet environment. It was more enjoyable to be alone and at home as opposed to the dramatic environment that I would have been painting in. My advice to students taking studio art or art this year would be to choose your theme as early as possible and to have ideas written down, little sketches complete, just even do some little artworks just to see what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing. I'd also suggest getting as much sleep as possible and to choose something you are truly passionate about. There's no point in doing something for the marks or for your teacher's approval. It's more important to enjoy what you're doing, and yeah, it's the best way to succeed in VCE.